Hey, what's cracking? Hope this video finds you doing well. I hope that you, my friend, have everything going your way. I want to thank you for clicking on the video. If it's the first time you've ever clicked on one before, my name is Ricky Dyatt. I went to prison when I was 15 years old in the state of Oklahoma. I was in prison for 20 and a half years before I got out. There's nothing I can do to change what happened that sent me to prison, but what I can do is share my experiences in the hopes of saving someone else from going through those things. I started my story at the very beginning, so you'll enjoy them best if you'll start at the beginning. I started at the beginning when I was 15 years old, what it was like at 15 years old to be charged with murder, what caused me to be in the situation I was in to be there in the first place, what it was like to be certified as an adult and sent on to prison with grown men. And I try to tell the story in order as it happened, but I do jump around because there's things that I forgot or maybe things that I didn't cover on earlier videos. And so today that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rewind all the way back to when the crime, right as soon as the crime happened, getting locked up and put in the Berry house. Back when I made my first few videos, I made the first five. I didn't have any good equipment. Later on, someone fixed the sound for those, so you can find them in the later videos. They're out of order, but it'll say fixed sound in parentheses for the first five. But I went back looking through videos. There's a guy named Big John. Shout out to Big John. He's going to help me write a book about my life. And I'm still going to write one of my own because no one can really tell the story as it happened other than me. But he's going to write a book from like a biography. So I decided that I would go back from my earlier videos and cover things that I had left out. And I looked back at the Berry House, the video about the Berry House, and it was only 13 minutes long. It says the Juvenile Detention Center, the Berry House. It's 13 minutes, and that doesn't come near covering what the Berry House was like for me. So I thought today that I would rewind and cover that Berry House. Because let me tell you, first of all, let me tell you that the Oklahoma County Jail, they say that the Oklahoma County Jail, I never have been in the Oklahoma County Jail. I'm glad that I missed it because people die in the Oklahoma County Jail all the time. It has a very high death rate. And because of that, they're about to build a new county jail. And I don't know if that'll change anything or if it won't. Because Oklahoma County, that's where everybody from Oklahoma City goes to jail. And it's a big county. And I would have been in Oklahoma County if my crime would have happened across the street. But it happened on the corner. It happened on made me in Cleveland County. And Cleveland County Jail wasn't near that bad. They call it the Cleveland County Motel, as a matter of fact. But Oklahoma County is real rough, and also the Oklahoma County Berry House for juveniles is very, very rough. And the Berry House, when I was in there, was almost as rough as any prison I had ever been at. It wasn't as dangerous as, say, McAllister or Granite because the kids aren't going to kill you. But the difference between kids and adults is this: when you're around a lot of adults, you do have fights, you do have more serious altercations. But with adults, they think more about the consequences of their actions. So you don't have near as many fights. You may have more serious fights, but you don't have near as many of them. I'll guarantee you that because when you got a bunch of kids together, and they know that the worst thing that can happen is they're going to go to Raider in Tulsa until they turn 18, unless they're certified as an adult. You got a bunch of kids in a day room. There's about 30 kids in each day room. So what happens is they bring you in and they put me in a holding cell right off the bat. Keep in mind that a crime had just been committed. I had just seen a man lose his life in this store robbery, and now I'm locked up. And they put me in the Berry House. And when they put me in that holding cell, and I'm locked, looking out them doors, it was an immediate culture shock for me. For one, because I grew up in a little country town, and there's not very many blacks around in this town. There was one black kid in my grade with me in school that was on my football team. His name was Terry Dowdy, and he was a friend of mine. And I never thought anything about him being black or white because I was raised by my grandmother and my mother, and my grandmother was real country and Christian and religious, and she just raised me that we're all children of God. And there's a little song you sing in church about being red and brown and white, all the children of the world. Well, that's kind of how my grandmother raised me. And I never heard any racial slurs or anything like that growing up. My basketball coach was black, and he had went to school in McLeod with my mother when she was a kid. So they had lived there their whole life and acted just like anybody else in town. They didn't act any different because they were a different color. They were just black people to me. But when I got put in the Berry House, everyone there was black. So where I was just a 15-year-old kid, used to never been away from home. I was pretty much a straight A student. I had a couple B's. I'd been to church camp, and I spend the night with my uncles and aunts, sometimes with one of my friends if my mom knew their parents. But I'd never been away from home, and now they got me in this place, and everyone here is black. There's no other white people other than my fall partner. Kenny was 14. So the way the Berry House is set up is there's 3 day rooms, and it's a real long building. And you got a day room, and there's 30 cells in that day room, 15 on the bottom and 15 on the top, and they're all single cells. So you have 30 kids in each day room. So you got the day room here, and if you look this way, if you look straight toward the other end of the building, there's a plexiglass window and an office where, well, they're not guards, staff sit, because they're not considered guards in juvenile detention. They're considered staff. So you'll have a staff member sitting in a little room there, and then there's another piece of plexiglass, and then there's the middle day room, B day room. This is A day room. You look down there, there's B day room, and if you look on down, there's C day room. So it's just like 3 day rooms in a row. There's a day room, and a plexiglass room, little room with plexiglass on both sides where that staff member can see this day room, or it can look and see those other 2 day rooms. And it's just all in a row. And there's 30 kids in each one. And I'm a white kid in A day room, and then Kenny's a white kid in B day room. And we're the only white kids in the day room. And I'd never been around Crips and Bloods before, but all that was just now kind of starting with the kids. And you had a little group of black guys that were Crips and a group of black guys that were Bloods. But instead of fighting each other, they would just fight me, man. They would just jump on me. And so what happened is they brought me straight in. They put me in my cell, and it's a single cell. And I'm going to tell you how bad my luck was. They didn't clean that cell out before they put me in it. They're supposed to clean each mattress with disinfectant and clean the cell with disinfectant before they put another kid in there. And they didn't. They just put me in there, and there was a mattress already laying in there. And they put me in there, and I caught scabies. Scabies. Little bugs that get under your skin. I had nightmares over that shit. They ended up having to take me to Children's Hospital and get medicine and shots and stuff to get that shit off of me. But for the first 3 days, I didn't even come out of my cell. So in the morning, they'll open the doors at like 6 a.m. and you'll come out in the day room. And there's a bathroom that everyone shares, and there's boys and girls in this day room. If a girl needs to go to the bathroom, she has to tell staff, and they have to stand at the door while she goes in there because everyone shares the shower and the bathroom. There's a bathroom, and on one end of it is 3 sinks and 3 toilets. Toilets are straight across from the sink, so while you're taking a shit, someone else is brushing their teeth looking at you in the mirror. And then on the other side of it, there's a shower, and it's just a rod that runs right up the middle of the room that has spigots all the way around it. And there's 8 spigots, so they could do 8 kids at a time. They would do 6 for security reasons, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. So they put me in my cell, and for the first 3 days, I was so messed up from that murder being committed that I wouldn't even come out of my cell. I would stay in bed most of the time, just laying on my mat, scratching from I didn't know what. Ended up being scabies. Every now and then I'd get up and come look out my window, and the other kids are saying, "Won't you come on out? Come on out." These black boys were telling me this, black guys, other boys my age. I call them boys because we're all boys. None of us were men yet. But they were 16, 17 years old, most of them, and I'm 15. Just turned 15. I haven't been 15 but a few months. And finally, on the 3rd day, I come out of my room. And they take us out to breakfast first. They take you to breakfast at like 7 o'clock. Go in there and you go through the little chow hall line, eat your breakfast like you're in a cafeteria at school. Then they'll bring you back to your day room, and then one at a time at 8 o'clock, they'll start taking you to what they call school. But there's just, all it is there's a little cafeteria, and there by the cafeteria, there's 3 rooms that they use for school rooms. And they will take One day room, like A day room, will go to this class, say this is English and reading in this room. And then B unit, they'll be over in the other class for math and science. And then someone else, they might be over here for history and something else, a C unit. Because there's 3 day rooms, A, B, and C. But first morning I'm in there, I go to school, they end up bringing another white kid named Keith and putting him in my day room. And we're sitting there in class, and first thing off, these black guys start picking on Keith. They're slapping him, thumping his ears, and he won't stand up to them. And I'm thinking to myself, man, first time one of them does me like that, we're fighting. They're not going to do me like that. And sure enough, I'm sitting there at the front of class. I got one, it's a little old school desk, a regular school desk, just like you would have in any classroom. I'm sitting there doing my work, and this dude named Ted comes by, knocks my desk real hard, man. Ted was a Crip. He had a couple guys with him. And one of the guys that ended up, that was always tormenting me, was named Quaylen Bruner. Quaylen Bruner, you son of a gun. This guy, hey, Quaylen Bruner ended up watching my back while I stabbed a guy at Hinton, because that way I wouldn't get jumped by other blacks. He stood there and made sure I got a one-on-one. He ended up taking a knife and then having me fight. Even I've told that story. But me and that guy, Quaylen Bruner, ended up being best of friends. But when we were in the Berry house, he was one of my tormentors. He was one of the guys. There was like 4 black guys, 5 of them. One guy would come and go. And there every day they would jump on me and beat me up. And this day I'm sitting there, and sure enough, it's only my 3rd day there. It's the first day I've come out of my cell, and Ted's picking on me, and he's standing up in front of me, and he kind of roughhoused my desk, And when he did, I just jerked my desk back straight and looked up at him, and he was like, "You got a problem, white boy?" And as soon as he said it, I just, boom, took him down at the waist, got him on the ground, started trying to hit him, and his buddy started hitting me, and I knew it was coming. And the staff broke us up, and they take us to our cell, and they lock us in our cells for 24 hours. And that's your first punishment. If you get in trouble, they lock you in your cell 24 hours. If you get out of your cell and get back in trouble, you got to do 48 hours. If you get out of your cell and got to get in trouble again, you got to do 72 hours. And that's the maximum punishment. 3 days in your cell. And then you get right back in the day room. The same people just beat you up. So I get into it with Ted. They lock me and Ted down. Ted's talking through the windows to his buddies, saying, "We're going to get that peck of wood when we get out." As soon as I get out, they end up getting me again. I got stabbed in my stomach by a pencil by a dude named Sylvester Tucker. Dude, we're arguing over. I said I got next on dominoes, and he said, "You ain't getting next." I said, "I got next after you," and he says, "No, you ain't getting next." You hear what I said? Peck of wood, and they'd say, "Peck, peck, 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 peck of wood." They'd say it just like that, and that's back before white guys took pride in the name Peckerwood. That's what blacks would call us, as a racial slur. And then at some point, white guys just started calling themselves Peckerwoods. It wasn't always like that you seen white boys with Peckerwoods across their shoulders or stomach. That came later on, man. That came in the 90s, maybe even the early 2000s, when they started calling themselves Peckerwoods here in Oklahoma. Because before, that was a racial slur, and the blacks would say it as a insult, to us. And finally, man, they would lock me in my cell, and we would get out of the cell, and these guys would just beat me up again, man. And we get put back in our cell, and we get out, and they would just beat me up again. And I remember one night, they do showers, man. When you get ready to do showers, they run you up in that shower and just close that door behind you for till everyone's done, and then you knock on the door that you're done. Let those 6 out, 6 more go in there, and they lock you in there. And there's no staff in there with you, man. And these dudes kept jumping on me, so I don't want to get in the shower with these dudes, man. So I'm trying to avoid them. I'm trying to make sure they go in the shower, and I don't get in the shower when they're in the shower. And I'm trying to avoid them, and I wait all the way to the very end, man. So I'm in the last group, so I can try to avoid these dudes. And sure enough, man, they waited just so they can get me, man. And we go up in the shower, and they lock us in there, and I know something's going on. I hear them all loud. I try to hurry. I get in there, I get my clothes off, I run around there, start doing the shower. They're over there by the toilets and sinks, getting ready to come around the corner in the shower with me. And I hear them all over there laughing and shit. And they come around the corner, and dude, they all got their towels made into rat tails. And I'm going to show you how to make a rat tail sometimes. It's a way to fold your towel where it looks like the tail of a fucking rat. And you can snap it and pop it, and it'll bring blood like a whip. And they all got rat tails, 5 of them. And I'm by myself, and I'm thinking, oh shit, I'm butt naked, dude. And the only thing I could get is they got these big ass family bars of soap laying around this rod that comes in the floor, and it's got like a little shelf with a shampoo and conditioner set. You want to make sure you don't get in there after Tremaine King too. My boy Tremaine, he's one of my friends, but that dude right there, he would piss in the shampoo and the conditioner. So you don't want to go in the shower after Tremaine. He don't use shampoo and conditioner, but every time he goes in there, he'll piss in the bottles, and they can't do nothing to stop him from keep doing it. He just does that shit. So, but they're getting ready to come over here and whoop me with these rat tails, man. They're gonna pop me while I'm naked with these rat tails, and they're all laughing about it and shit, dude. And all I could do is grab those big family bars of soap and started chunking them at their motherfucking ass. I was down to my last 2 bars, but boy, they wouldn't come around that corner. I was throwing them big family bars so hard. Finally, the guards heard shit going on in there and come open the door and let me out. But they was beating my ass every time they let us out of our room, man. And then finally, one time, they were scheming on me. And the furniture out in the day room, there's a couple tables where you can play dominoes or play chess. And then they got this plastic furniture. And this furniture, you just sit out there in it, and the only thing sticking up is your shoulders and your head. There's one, they're out there facing the TV, and Ted is the main ringleader. He's the main guy that keeps instigating all this shit. And they got him sitting up there. He's up there. He got out of his room first. And my door is back behind him. So he's sitting up there watching TV with just his head and shoulders sticking up, watching that TV. And they popped my door from behind him. His buddies hadn't got out yet. So when they popped that door, I just walked up behind him and I kicked Ted in the side of the head as hard as I could. After that, they took Ted and moved him down to C Day room. And that just left me down there with his minions. And then it wasn't just a little while longer, and they bring this white kid in our day room named Shane Douglas. Shane Walker Douglas, something like that. I ended up meeting up with him in the prison, man. And at the time when this happens, he's 17 years old, and I'm just 15. And he's a lot bigger than me. I hadn't took my growing spurt yet. So when I end up meeting this dude in prison, I'm bigger than him. But whenever we were in a bear house, he's a lot bigger than me. And so I don't have anything against. I don't have nothing with this dude. I haven't even talked to this dude, but he knows a bunch of these black kids because he's been in and out of this Berry house a bunch. And they put this dude up to sucker punching me, and he sucker punches me trying to fit in with them. He catches me. This black dude named Roger walks up to me, and we're standing there talking. And while we're talking, this dude Shane just walks up behind me, sucker punched me in my ear. He busted my eardrum. Dude, there was a table right beside me. He would have knocked me to the ground. He hit me and knocked me over that table. And then he just started strumming me, dude. Before I even could get my shit together, he's hit me 3-4 times, man. So I end up getting up and I start swinging back at him. And the staff grab us and separate us. And I'm so mad, and my ear is ringing, man. I've never been hit like that in my life at this point in my life. I've never been hit like that. And my ear is ringing, whoa, 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 whoa. And I was so mad. And at this time, they've been telling me, hey, man, it's important that you don't get in no fights while you're in this Berry house. You need to always be the one that's just trying to defend yourself. Because I said, hey, man, these kids are picking on me. They're jumping on me. You're like, well, make sure you're always one defending yourself. Because these staff, they're write down at the end of every day, at the end of every shift, they'll write down how your behavior was. And when you go over here at the court, try to be certified as an adult or juvenile, they're going to be looking at this to see if you're a violent kid. And you want it to look like you're a nonviolent kid. If you're in here fighting all the time or telling people you're going to kill them, don't never say I'm going to kill you to anybody. And I got so mad when that dude busted my eardrum. I told him, I'm going to fucking kill you. And the staff grabbed me. 3 staff got me like this. One around my arms, one around my legs, and they got me in a headlock, and they carry me outside. And because I said I'm going to kill him, they didn't put me back in that day room. They moved me over to B, where Kenny was at, my fall partner. And once we got in the same day room, people quit picking on us. Once we were both there, we had no more problems after that. We ended up making friends with the other black guys in that day room, and no one picked on me and Kenny no more once we were together. But I got stabbed by a pencil in that son of a bitch. I'm telling you, when Sylvester stabbed me with that, man, I felt a real sharp. I didn't even know he'd stabbed me with nothing. He had a pencil in his hand that he was keeping score with on the fucking game. Because that's what we were arguing over, is who had next. It was a damn domino game, I think. It might have been cards. I think it's dominoes. He wasn't going to let me get next, period. He had next and then next and next and next. I couldn't get in, period. And I tried to argue with him, and next thing I felt that sharp pain, and I heard a like that. Looked down, and that damn stabbed me with a damn pencil, man. And so that Berry House was a rough son of a bitch, man. I got in a lot of fights in that Berry House. They was beating my ass just over and over and over, several against one. So I never covered that before, so I thought you might enjoy to hear what the Berry House was like for me. And now I want to give some thank yous, man. I want to thank all you guys, first of all, for all the prayers and for your thoughts and best wishes for my mother and my family and for me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. I can't tell you how much I appreciate the friendships. All of you have reached out to me on a more personal level and checked on me. I want you to know that I really appreciate it. I want to give some thank yous now. I was just doing my comments before I made this video. I wanted to make sure I caught up on my past comments. So I went through and I made sure I acknowledged. So if I haven't acknowledged your comment by now, I have not seen it for some reason. But I had a whole week's worth to do. And during that time, I've been shown a lot of love by you guys here recently. And it's important to me that I never talk about money on my channel except for to say thank you for it if it's given to me. Because when someone goes above and beyond to help me out, I feel it's important that they're recognized for it. So the people that I'm about to name, these people have done super things in the recent future, and I want you to know it's greatly appreciated, though it's never expected of you. David LaRue, Rob Johnson, Chris from I Hate Stupid People, RSCD for that major super thanks, and Proud Masculine for a nice super thanks. And then I want to thank Jenna Wolf, who sent some money to my Cash App. I got to tell you, with everything that's been going on with my mom, man, I was tossing and juggling here and there. I never like to talk about money on here because I don't want people to think I'm asking them for money. But you know, the way things are set up for me and my wife, we get paid around the first of the month, and by the third or the fourth of the month, I'm broke. But I've usually already went to the store and I've got everything I need to make it through the month. I'll go to Walmart and I'll buy groceries and I'll buy toilet paper and hygiene and things we'll need. And then by the time I've got the things that I need, I'm out of money usually. And then we had a lot of things pop up, and I had a lot of trips back and forth to the hospital, and I was juggling money here and there, trying to make sure I had something for gas to keep getting to where I needed to get. And my Cash App went off, and Jenna sent some money for support of my channel. And thank you very much, Jenna. It couldn't have come at a better time, and I really appreciate it. If you need any pest control work done in the state of Oklahoma, DOA Pest Control, ask for Dustin Lackey. If you need some plumbing down there around Ida Bell, you straight flush plumbing, because you can't beat a straight flush. That's old John Doe, and the link for his channel will be in the description. If you haven't shown that guy some support yet, get on over there and give him a subscribe. And if you need any construction work done, Mid-America Construction. That's Ben Seaborn, one of the most honest men that I know. And they do construction work all across the United States. I want to give a shout out to the riders and dyers, the riders who ride till the wheels fall off, and the dyers keep riding even when they do. All you guys, y'all automatic, make sure you got to make at least $100 a month on YouTube from the commercials or from the memberships or super thanks. You have to make at least $100 for them to send you anything. And then sometime between the 21st and the 26th, you'll get a check for the month before. And you guys that do that, y'all like already start me off almost halfway to that $100. And I wanted you to know that I appreciate it. So with that, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. And I hope that God bless, keep, and protect each and every one of you until I see you again. Until then, peace out.